Hello everybody, so welcome to the webinar. My name's Lisa Dargan and I'm one of the directors at URM, and I'm joined today by Jinu Lee, who is our head of cyber testing. So this is one of URM's webinars which is very much informing you of trends and what we're seeing from across penetration tests, and trying to give some value add and some information back to you all. So if I quickly run through the agenda. What we're looking to cover today is initially will just be some very basic introductions. Then we're going to just talk at a very high level about types of penetration tests. We're going to drill into most commonly identified vulnerabilities and the risks attached with those. So yeah, there's a vulnerability, but so what? What's the risk? From there, we're going to look at the role of vulnerability scanning. We'll look at pitfalls to avoid when penetration testing, and some practical things you should be doing today. Please do raise any questions as we go along. If we can, we'll answer them at that point, but as you raise them, but if not, we're trying to address as many as we can at the end of the session. So just to give you a little bit of those of you that aren't familiar with URM and our credentials, we've got over 15 years experience around information security in terms of 27001, PCI DSS, Cyber Essentials Plus, and penetration testing, which we've been delivering for the last 4 to 5 years. Holistically, our approach is to pull together our governance, risk and compliance and our technical expertise to be able to support you, and particularly around penetration testing, to provide a lot more of that so what. You know, great that you know there's something there, but what does that really mean? Key thing, and you'll find out from Jinu in a moment, is we have a very passionate team of people who've worked both sides of the fence. So many of them have sat where you are today in, potentially being responsible for penetration testing and why and what should I focus on, and we can give you some, really good experience based on our knowledge. And from an accreditation perspective, we're a CREST accredited organisation. I'll introduce Jinu very briefly, and then he will walk you through. Jun's our head of cybersecurity testing, and he's been involved with information security that's 13 years now, Jun, since 2010. You'll see his credentials and qualifications there. That's not everything, but let's give you a flavour that Jun's got an awful lot of experience. So before we dive into the main content from today, and I hand over to Jinu, just initially, to give you some background, these are types of penetration tests that we deliver. We're going to focus on 3 specifically in terms of vulnerabilities, but we do a wide range of testing, from your traditional external, internal, web application type testing, through to wireless testing, mobile applications, and cloud security reviews. We have done some very interesting social engineering testing. Maybe, Jinu, we should do that as another webinar in the future and talk through some of the things we've found getting into buildings, walking through into server rooms, and what we can and can't access. But we've done some interesting work around social engineering, and in addition, build and configuration reviews. We do source code review, container and orchestration security reviews. Although we're only going to deal with 3 of them, if you've got specific questions about those, please do raise them. So Jinu, if I hand over to you, can you walk us through the most commonly identified vulnerabilities? And as we said, the so what? What's those attached risks?
Yes, thank you, Lisa, and for the nice introduction as well. So yeah, as Lisa mentioned, we offer a wide variety of services, and we've made an analysis of the recently identified vulnerabilities by URM pen testers in the last year or so. And what we noticed, without too big of a surprise, is that most of the vulnerabilities, the highest numbers, were identified within the web application pen test, external and internal infrastructure pen test. That's mostly because those are the main type of tests that we perform, as well as the market requires. So most of the vulnerabilities we present today will be related to those, but some of them may also apply to other types of tests, as we can see, as we will see. So let's just start with it. So one of the most common things we identify during pen tests is the use of out-of-date and vulnerable and unsupported software as well, which is something that we find both in infrastructure testing, network testing, as well as web application testing. Type of findings we identify are related to unsupported operating systems, such as old Windows